Today we're getting into fitness.
Yeah, fitness.
It's something everyone's interested in. We've got some great articles here
Yeah, we do.
from sources like the Mayo Clinic and Everyday Health. We'll break them down, give you all the essentials you need to know.
Exactly. Get into what fitness really is, how it affects your life, how it affects your health, how it affects your well-being, all those good things.
Yeah, I mean, the physical activity guidelines for Americans,
Mm-hmm.
they actually outline 5 key components of fitness. Cardiorespiratory fitness,
Right.
musculoskeletal fitness, flexibility, balance, and speed.
Yeah, I mean, that all sounds good and well, but what does that actually mean for, the average person?
Right. It can get pretty technical,
Hmm.
but it boils down to, can you go about your day
Yeah.
with energy and ease?
Yeah.
If you need to walk up a flight of stairs, are you winded?
Right. If you play with your kids, are you just totally exhausted?
Yeah. Or if you're carrying groceries,
Yeah, exactly.
can you manage?
Exactly. Those are the kind of things we're thinking about, that functionality.
Yeah. So how do we get there? I think first we need to talk about aerobic exercise,
Absolutely.
otherwise known as cardio.
Cardio.
And it's really all about getting your heart rate up, breathing a little harder.
Yeah, getting your heart a good workout,
Yeah.
making it stronger.
So what are some examples of aerobic exercise?
Well, there's tons of stuff.
I'm thinking like brisk walking, running,
Running, swimming, biking,
dancing.
dancing, even just dancing around your living room.
Right.
It all counts.
But it has to get that heart rate up.
Exactly. The point is to find something that you actually enjoy doing.
Yeah.
That gets your heart rate up and that doesn't feel like a chore.
Now, I've heard a lot about strength training, but to be honest with you, I always think about the bulky weightlifters.
Right.
And that's not really what I'm going for.
Yeah, that's a very common misconception. It's not all about bulking up. Really what it's about is maintaining muscle mass and building muscle mass, which, as we age, is super, super important. We naturally start to lose muscle as we get older, and that can impact our quality of life.
Okay, so strength training is actually helping us maintain our independence.
Exactly, exactly. It helps us maintain our strength so we can, continue to carry those groceries, play with our kids, even just get up from a chair with ease.
Right, so what are some good examples of strength training activities?
Oh, well, there's tons. The classic is lifting weights, but you can also use resistance bands. You can use your own body weight. There's things like heavy gardening or even just carrying your children.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Now, I also wanted to talk about flexibility and mobility
Mm-hmm.
because I always kind of use those terms interchangeably.
Right. They are similar.
Are they actually different?
They are different, but they're related. Flexibility refers to the ability of a muscle to stretch, and mobility is more about the range of motion at a joint.
Okay, so give me an example.
So if you can touch your toes,
Okay.
that's a measure of your hamstring flexibility.
Okay.
But if you can squat down and then stand back up with ease, that's a measure of your hip mobility.
Okay, so they're both important.
They are, yeah, they're both essential to preventing injuries and improving posture, maintaining your ability to just move freely.
So if your muscles are really tight or your joints are stiff, you're probably going to feel that in your everyday life.
Exactly.
Right. Okay, now our sources also mentioned the amount of flexibility and mobility work we should be doing. What are the guidelines?
Well, unlike aerobic and strength training, the recommendations for flexibility and mobility there's not very specific guidelines, and there's actually a lot more research that's needed.
So it's less important.
Not necessarily, but it's just that there needs to be more research.
Okay.
However, one thing that is emphasized is balance training,
Oh, balance.
especially for older adults, because it can help reduce your risk of falls.
Right, so you don't want to do all this work to be strong and flexible and then,
And then take a tumble.
take a tumble.
Exactly.
Now this brings us to another aspect of fitness that I think sometimes gets overlooked.
And that is?
Rest and recovery.
Yes.
I mean, I thought we were here to push ourselves,
We are, but
get sweaty.
rest is just as important as pushing yourself.
So we're not just being lazy?
No, you're not being lazy. Your body needs time to repair and rebuild itself. When you exercise, you're actually creating little tiny micro tears in your muscle fibers. And rest and recovery is what allows those fibers to heal and grow back stronger.
So it's almost like it's happening in the background.
Exactly, exactly. If you don't give your body that time to rest, it's like, imagine you're baking a cake.
Okay.
And you keep baking it, but you don't let it cool down.
It's going to crumble.
It's going to crumble. You need those cooling periods in order for it to set and become more resilient. Same with your muscles.
Okay, I like that. So what does rest look like? I mean, is it literally sitting on the couch all day?
Not necessarily. It's really about listening to your body. Sometimes it might mean taking a complete day off from strenuous activity.
Right?
And sometimes it might mean engaging in more gentle activities, like a light walk or some stretching.
Yeah, so it's all about finding that balance
Exactly. It's finding the balance.
between pushing yourself and giving your body what it needs.
Exactly.
Okay, wow. We've already covered so much.
I know, right?
But now I want to dive deeper into what all this hard work can do for us.
All the good stuff.
The benefits.
Yeah, get ready to be amazed.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of benefits.
All right, let's get into it.
Let's do it. All right, so let's jump into the good stuff, the amazing health benefits of exercise.
Okay, I'm excited. I mean, I know that it's good for me, but I love, learning the specifics.
Oh, for sure. There are tons of benefits. Like, one of the most immediate things people notice is the impact on their mood.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Have you ever noticed, like, after a good workout?
Oh, totally. I feel so much better.
Yeah.
More energy.
More energy.
Positive.
Positive. Yeah, it's like this switch just flips in your brain.
Totally.
And there's a reason for that, right? It's not all in your head.
Great.
Exercise actually releases endorphins, which are the natural mood boosters.
Oh, so it's like a natural antidepressant.
It is. And beyond just, feeling happy and energized, regular exercise has been shown to actually reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes it can be just as effective as medication.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew it was good for your physical health, but I didn't realize the impact it could have on mental health.
Yeah, it's a powerful tool for overall well-being.
Okay.
And speaking of feeling good, let's talk about sleep.
Oh, sleep, yeah. I mean, that's a struggle for me. I
Yeah.
toss and turn. I can never fall asleep.
Yeah, and a lot of people have trouble sleeping, but exercise can be really helpful because it actually helps to regulate your body's circadian rhythm, which is your natural sleep-wake cycle.
So like resetting your internal clock.
Exactly. Plus, exercise reduces stress and anxiety,
Mm.
so that helps you to feel more relaxed, which also helps with sleep.
Okay, so it's kind of like this chain reaction.
It is. All these things are interconnected.
I like that. Okay, now let's talk about the long-term benefits.
Yes.
I know it's good for my heart, but what else can it do?
Well, the benefits are pretty remarkable. Regular exercise has been shown to improve brain function. It strengthens your bones. It helps maintain muscle mass as we age.
Right.
Even boost your sex life.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
How does it do that?
So basically, exercise improves blood flow throughout your body,
Okay.
including to,
Okay.
those crucial areas.
Right.
And it also increases your energy levels, boosts your confidence,
Right.
all those things.
Yeah. I mean, I guess those things all could lead to that.
Exactly. And let's not forget about, the big one, reducing your risk of chronic disease.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's huge.
Huge.
What can it do there?
So regular exercise has been shown to lower your risk of developing heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes,
Okay.
even some types of cancer.
So that's a pretty big motivator.
It is a big motivator. And, the best part is you don't have to be a marathon runner.
Right.
You don't have to spend hours at the gym.
Okay.
Even moderate amounts of activity can make a big difference.
That's really good to hear.
Mhm.
What about people who already have chronic conditions? Is it safe for them to exercise?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And in many cases, yes.
Okay.
Exercise can actually be a really valuable tool for managing chronic conditions.
Okay. So give me an example.
Sure. So people with osteoarthritis
Mm-hmm.
often find that exercise helps to reduce their pain and stiffness and improve their mobility.
So it actually makes their condition better.
Exactly. And for individuals with, say, high blood pressure
Mm-hmm.
or type 2 diabetes,
Yeah.
exercise can help regulate blood sugar levels
Okay.
and lower blood pressure, which can, in some cases, reduce the need for medication.
So it's kind of like you said, like a magic bullet almost.
Yeah, almost like a magic bullet. But of
Magic bullet,
course,
yeah.
if you have a chronic condition, it's always important to consult with your doctor before you start a new exercise program.
Right. Safety first.
Safety first.
Okay. So we know the benefits, but how much exercise do we actually need?
Yeah, so there are some guidelines. The physical activity guidelines for Americans recommend that adults aim for at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic activity.
Yep.
Or 75 minutes of vigorous intensity aerobic activity per week.
Okay. I have to admit that sounds like a lot.
I know, it sounds like a lot.
So break it down for me. What does that mean? What's moderate and what's vigorous?
Sure. So moderate intensity is basically anything that gets your heart rate up, but you can still hold a conversation.
Okay.
So brisk walking, dancing, gardening.
Got it.
Vigorous intensity is more strenuous.
Okay.
You're breathing hard. It's hard to talk while you're doing it.
So like running.
Running, swimming laps, playing a high-intensity sport.
Got it. And can you spread that out throughout the week?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, it's often better to break it up into shorter, more manageable chunks throughout the week.
Okay.
Even 10-minute bursts of activity can really add up.
So you don't need to be intimidated by that big number.
Exactly. You don't need to be intimidated.
You start small.
Start small.
Okay, what about strength training?
So for strength training, they recommend doing activities that work all the major muscle groups at least 2 days per week.
Okay.
Mhm.
So what about if someone's training for something specific, like a marathon or something?
Yeah, these guidelines are really a great starting point
Mm-hmm.
for just general health and well-being.
Right.
But if you have more specific goals,
Okay.
you're going to need to adjust your routine accordingly.
So we know the benefits. We know how much we need to be doing. But now how do we actually make it happen?
Right. Let's get practical.
Let's get practical.
Yeah.
Because that's always the struggle, right?
It is.
So let's get practical. How do we actually, like, fit fitness into our lives?
Yeah. Because, I mean, it's one thing to know the benefits
Totally.
and the guidelines, but actually putting it into practice, that's the hard part.
Yeah. I mean, between work and family and trying to have a social life,
Yeah.
it's hard to find the time.
I hear you. It can be tough, but I think, one of the biggest myths about fitness is that you have to spend hours at the gym.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Because I'd much rather spend an hour with, like, a good book than on a treadmill.
And you can. Really, one of the best strategies, especially for beginners, is to just break up your workouts into shorter, more manageable chunks throughout the day.
So you mean like taking the stairs instead of the elevator?
Exactly.
Walking to a coworker's desk instead of emailing them?
Exactly. Those little things add up. It's really just about finding those opportunities to move more throughout your day.
It's not about changing your whole life. It's just about making little changes.
Exactly. And another important tip, especially when you're just starting out, is to gradually increase the intensity and duration of your workouts.
So don't go from couch potato to marathon runner overnight.
Exactly. You want to challenge yourself, but you also want to avoid burnout or injury.
Right.
So start slow, listen to your body,
Yeah.
and gradually increase the intensity over time.
Okay, that makes sense. Now I wanted to talk about one of my favorite things,
What's that?
which is ways to move that don't feel like exercise.
Oh, I love that.
Like, what are your go-tos?
Well, think about things that you already enjoy doing, like gardening,
Yeah.
dancing, playing with your kids, walking your dog. All of those things can contribute to your overall fitness goals.
So making movement like a natural part of your day rather than something you have to, like, check off your list.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of to-do lists, one of the most effective ways to stay consistent with exercise is to treat it like any other important appointment.
Oh, so, like, actually schedule it.
Yeah, block out the time in your calendar,
I like that.
just like you would for a meeting.
Because then I'll actually do it.
Exactly. And, if you're finding it hard to stay motivated, another really helpful strategy is to find a workout buddy.
Oh, for sure. Someone to hold you accountable.
Yeah, hold you accountable, cheer you on, make it more fun.
I mean, I'm way more likely to go for a run if I know a friend's waiting for me.
Exactly. And you
Yeah.
can chat and laugh.
Yeah.
It makes it much more enjoyable.
Totally. Okay, now I also wanted to touch on HIE training.
Oh, yeah. High-intensity interval training.
It seems really intense. Is that something that, like, everyone can do?
HII can actually be adapted for all fitness levels. It involves alternating between short bursts of high-intensity exercise,
Okay.
then brief recovery periods. And really, the beauty of HII is that it's very time efficient.
Oh.
So you can get a great workout in just 20 or 30 minutes.
That's appealing, especially if you're busy.
Exactly. And because the workouts are short and they're varied, people don't tend to get bored.
Okay, that's really good to hear. I'll have to look into that. Well, we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
All about fitness, all different types of exercise, the amazing benefits,
Yeah.
guidelines for how much we should be doing, tips for staying motivated,
Mm-hmm.
and all that good stuff. But before we go, I just want to leave our listeners with one final thought,
Oh, what's that?
which is fitness.
Yeah,
It's not about being perfect.
exactly.
It's about feeling good.
Feeling good, having the energy to do the things that you love.
Exactly. And that can look different for everyone.
For everyone.
So find what works for you, make it part of your routine, and enjoy the journey,
And take it one step at a time.
one step at a time. So for all our listeners out there,
Yeah.
what's one small thing you can do today to move a little bit more?
Yeah, what's your first step going to be?